Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight for our March Keep Our Beautiful meeting. We begin with call to order, please.
Mari Caballero,
Here?
Romeo Robles Jr.,
Here.
Romeo Cantu,
Here.
Marisa Oliva,
Here.
Rolando Perez, Laura de la Garza, Jessica Trevino.
Thank you, Cindy. At this time, I need a motion on the floor to please excuse our members that are absent. I believe they all phoned in and notified our administrative assistant.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Being that there's no opposition, the motion passes. We move on to item 1B, invocation. So I had a thought since yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And to some of us, it's about feeling lucky, wearing green, leprechauns, shamrocks, etc. And then to there's other of us that we know it runs deeper and it runs more clear and more faithful. So with that, I'll share just a short prayer. Christ beside us, Christ before us, Christ behind us, Christ within us, Christ beneath us, Christ above us. Words taken from St. Patrick. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to administrative item 2A, approval of minutes of our February 18th, 2025 regularly called meeting. I need a motion on the floor to accept the minutes, please.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Okay, I need a second, please.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Being that there's no opposition, the motion passes. We move on to administrative item 2B, update on Keep Texas Beautiful. I'm happy to report that the Keep Texas Beautiful State Convention, State Conference is being held May 5th through May 7th in Austin, and the city of Pharr is sending a small group to attend that conference. So I'm real pleased about that. I believe we're going to have Commissioner Caballero going, Ms. Castro, Assistant Director, Parks and Rec. I believe maybe Mr. Remy Vargas is going, our urban ecologist, Ms. Irma, Public Works, and I also, let's see, and I'm going to tag along. Somebody needs to keep them in check. No, just kidding. But yeah, I'm happy to report that. Also, I know that last month you had a wonderful update from Mr. Coca on the Governor's Community Achievement Award and its submittal. And at this time, we're still waiting to hear on all the site still says is in April, we're going to hear about the winners. So I invite any of you who might be interested in going to the Keep Texas Beautiful site and going up to the links on the upper right-hand corner and going down to About Us and then scrolling down to Events and check on the Governor's Community Achievement Award. And it talks about the 7, I like to call them pillars that we were judged on, graded on. And you can review that as well as you can see the past winners. They have past winners in all of the 10 population category groups going back to 2020. So you'll find recognizable cities like McAllen. Brownsville was in 2019, so they didn't pop up, but you'll see Port Isabel, and you'll see, you'll recognize some of our areas, our local community from the Rio Grande Valley. And you'll also understand who we're competing against, which is we're in category 8 because of our population groups. So again, I encourage you to go to the site, take a look at it, see what it is we're being judged on, and you'll get a good idea of who our competitors have been and will continue to be in the future. And I'm excited I'm excited for April to come along. So I appreciate you. Yes, ma'am.
Just real quick, I was jumping on the website to do what you did, and there is I don't know if we all know about it, but there is a regional meeting for Keep Texas
Yes,
Beautiful,
it's at the end of the month. It was rescheduled.
but it's here in the valley.
It's here in the valley. It was rescheduled from, I believe it was from January. It was that week that was really cold.
So it's March 26th.
And we can sign up for it if you'd like to go. Yeah. I know Miss Irma was planning on attending that cold, dreary day, but it got postponed. And I believe Miss Cindy Castro was also going to attend. But you're welcome to go. I'm not sure if there's a registration fee. There is. There's a link, but they want you to register. Okay. Is there a fee for that? Do you know? Okay. And it's in Westlaco? Westlaco. Yes.
It looks like it's going to go over grant funding opportunities.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Okay. Anything else regarding Keep Texas Beautiful for now? Okay. With that, we go on to administrative item 2C, discussion on Keep Pharr Beautiful 2020 projects. We move on. So with that, we go to number 1, update on Texas A&M Forest Service grant. I know Remy had spoken about it last month. Miss Elizabeth Diaz, I'm going to ask her to come up maybe and give us a little bit of recap of what happened since that month, last month to this month.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Chairwoman and committee members. For those I haven't met, Elizabeth Diaz, serving as the Director for Grants for the City of Pharr. So yes, in discussion for the Texas A&M Forestry grant that was just submitted for our, I'm sorry, this is the community greening. It's because we had a meeting this morning, Miss Oliva was there.
Yes.
We spoke about the forestry grant. So we have two different
grants going
two
on.
different grants going with the Forestry Service for Texas A&M. So schoolyard forestry is one, but the one we're here to update you on.
I think what happened is we're going for both now, right?
Yes.
And I think that's what they don't know.
No, that's the third one. She's
That's
talking about
the third one.
the
Okay,
schoolyard
yes,
forest that was
okay.
already awarded.
Yes,
Schoolyard forestry has been awarded, is in
Yes.
existence, and actually our coordinators are here
Yes.
who oversee that project. But we spoke with A&M Forestry this morning about that. But the other grant that we're wanting to update you on is the community forest or the community greening grant, which was submitted last week. For an opportunity for the city to be awarded at $1.7 million, a program that offers up to 10,000 plantings for our city. So it is built off of the community schoolyard forestry grant, which is servicing now the schools. This would be community effect. So building off of that initiative, this was an opportunity that the city thought was, marvelous, right? To build off of this. So that was awarded, I'm sorry, that was submitted. We are hoping to be, considered, but we won't know until they review. It is a pretty lengthy application, so they'll be reviewing that and they'll get back to us. We do want to also comment that there is a possible win-win situation because we were also included in a proposal at the regional level. Region 1 has been working with several school districts and several communities with the forestry services, right? And so they have grants within the schoolyard forestry, but they're also or have submitted a proposal for the schools, cities that are also impacted to be in a regional level considered for opportunities of this nature. So we were also included in that proposal, which includes several of the cities in our community. So if we do get awarded as a city with the 1.7, we won't be responsible for the proposal that Region 1 has included us in. However, if the city does not get awarded, then we would have an opportunity should Region 1 be awarded to participate in that funding.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, could you speak to a little bit to the details of the grant that we applied for, the 1.7 million, like what it's going to cover? I remember there's staffing in there and.
Yes, so
Okay.
we did see it an opportunity for the city to benefit. I think the city is at an opportunity to enhance what we're doing. And so this 1.7 would offer an opportunity to bring on staff members who are experts. We talked about a forester, we talked about some coordinators to help this initiative move forward. We have Remy and our parks team who's doing such a great job, but I think just the effort of this is something that encompasses a lot more staff power. So within the proposal, we did submit for some staffing to bring them on board for that. Correct.
Any questions for Ms. Diaz?
Good job.
Real excited.
Okay, we'll keep you
Um,
posted.
I want to, again, just call to mind Mr. Golka. Thank you for for being here again. And y'all make a great team. Miss Elizabeth, could you touch on what the idea for the next meeting is on?
Yes. So you spoke about it earlier, the Governor's Community Achievement Award, which we granted an application for this year with a great effort by Chairwoman Caballero with our internal departments, right? So we talked about parks being at the table, utilities, public works. I think y'all are doing a great job with the Keep Pharr Beautiful Facebook page because it's making our life easier for this next year's application. You know, all of the data that we had to capture was, you know, we had to dig through some items, and I think the Facebook page is doing such a great job for all the initiatives that we'll be looking to submit this next year's round. But with that being said, I think it'll be a great opportunity to maybe have a workshop with those directors to talk about some of those initiatives and how maybe we could enhance them, or maybe a different perspective that you all could bring. So I do open an opportunity to maybe have that as a workshop, maybe at next monthly meeting that you all have, maybe post meeting. I don't know what that looks like for you all, but maybe considering that to visit with those directors in case there's any feedback you already have or any new initiatives that we could get
So
your
this-
perspective on.
This came from Elizabeth. You all met like 5-6 times.
Just about.
They met. I mean, it was amazing. I know you were there a couple of times, and so was I. But there was just you had almost every single department there, and it was a roundtable discussion. All of them wanted to be a part of answering the questions for this grant, and that was very powerful to see and witness. And the directors and representatives from the departments putting their effort and you know, hey, well, this is, you know, my project, this might fit here, you know, and who better than you know, the directors. I have no doubt it was just beautiful to see and watch, and I was very inspired. And Elizabeth called me several weeks ago, and she said, okay, submitted the grant, but I was thinking, what about a recap? And Ms. Marisa had touched base also a couple of weeks ago saying we should have a workshop or a retreat, board reach, something. And so these ideas all came to be. And the thought is getting together. So we all know that we meet the third Tuesday of the month. It's hard. We're all volunteers. So we'd have a very short, call the meeting to order, do the roll call, approve the minutes from this meeting, and adjourn the meeting. But it would be announced that immediately following, we would be having an informal discussion with directors. The back of the room would already be set up,
Like a workshop, you mean?
basically. And Ms. Diaz would run it. She would pull the ideas out of everyone. And this would give you all an opportunity to also ask the directors, how can we help you more directly as a committee?
The suggestion I had is that sometimes we come at Pharr as they're doing things. I'm like, what about this idea? What about this idea? This would allow our committee to be in the planning stages, and therefore, as the city is planning what its objectives are, we could also contribute to that and then find out where we could be of use. And so it's to kind of get us in the forefront, so we're not always coming at the city at the end of things.
As it's happening.
Yes.
And Elizabeth's idea was, we did this, great. We learned a lot. We've done a lot as a city. But where do we go from here? We see what the winners are doing. How do we take it? How do we improve on what we're doing? And so
Yeah,
with that.
Thank you. If y'all are open to that, we can begin the planning to make sure representatives are here from each of the departments to talk about the recap and then what they have planned for the year. There were a couple of elements that we identified that were lacking in this year's proposal, which included the student and the youth component, which I think Ms. Olivo has great opportunities. And I think this would also be a great forum to see how we can incorporate that into our city.
Good.
So we think.
Good idea. Okay.
Okay. So we look forward to making that happen, the April meeting, April 15th, Tuesday. We'll make sure that it's properly worded and announced because, for open records and Open Meetings Act and all that good stuff. But we'll have the room set up in the back. Everyone will have to sit up for, and departments, you will not be having to come up and give us your report for the month. It'll be just be here, but so you can share
Informal.
informally with us at the table.
I do have a request, since we're going to be, I'm assuming, applying for the Keep Pharr Beautiful Award in next year. Could we have the framework of that in our meeting so that as we're going through and planning, we can point out, oh, we could do something for this, or what already exists, or what could we do, just so that can help guide us forward.
Great suggestion. We'll do that.
Any other questions for Ms. Diaz?
Mm.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you again to Mr. Coca for
I
all
do
you
have
do.
a couple
Yes.
of other updates, but I can wait
Yes.
after Mr. Gamboa.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. So you will come back with Mr. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay.
Awesome. So we do have two other grant opportunities that are in the exploratory phase, and I think we would love to share where we're at with them. Again, we are just the vessel of these opportunities. It's really our departments that see these opportunities to us. And so one of them is the HEB Texas, Trees for Texans, which I think Ms. Olivo shared with our Parks team, which our Parks team is taking lead with Ms. Castro on getting that application going. I think that is due in May, so we have plenty of time to review and bring back for any feedback. The other one, which I think is really unprecedented in a city kind of space for grants, nonetheless, is an environmental literacy for community resilience grant. This was brought to us by our public health team. With a collaboration with our Texas A&M School of Public Health. This does have a research component. It's something, again, unprecedented, but I think that we are capable and we are willing to do this research if it means betterment for our community. So we are exploring what that looks like. The budget there is anywhere from 100 to about 750 for 3 years. And so we're wanting to see what the feasibility of it is for our current staff and what it would look like should we bring additional staff for that to come to fruition. We do have Mr. Nico Topang here, who's our Director of Public Health, and he's kind of leading that as well.
I don't know if you could speak to what components of the grant that you're interested in exploring. If you could share that, we may be able to connect you with folks who are working on that or may have some insight. That's
Yeah, it is a lot of the educational component. So I know in his department, we would look to maybe a promotora or community health worker to help us do that. So really it's understanding what kind of education needs to be put out there. There is a component that requires like an advisory board. So that may be something we may come back to you all for some feedback. But it would be internally collaborating with our departments, our parks, our public health, those individuals who may have some kind of relationship with the community to be able to bring back this research for this initiative.
We can speak of it after the meeting, but yes, most definitely, I'd love to touch base on that because I think there's already some great resources that might help as you're forming the grant.
Understood. And the ideal world is where we can have both the youth and the parent involved in the research capturing.
Yes.
Sometimes there's isolations where they go strictly to the schools, and we would love for the
You can
benefit
use
of
the
the community to have both components within the conduction of the research.
Awesome.
Very good. Any more questions for Ms. Diaz? Thank you so much
No, thank
again.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we move on to administrative item 2C, number 2, update from media department. This is getting exciting. It's getting more.
Good afternoon to everyone in the Keep Pharr Beautiful Board. Thank you for the invite. This is just a brief update on some of the efforts through the Office of City Communications Department, or also known as the Media Department. Just for the record, Yuri Gonzalez, Director for the Office of City Communications. We launched the Keep Pharr Beautiful Facebook page sometime in January. It's slowly getting some traction. We're hoping that, through this reminder, more of our directors and community starts sharing some of these posts so we can start growing our followers. But so far, we've had great feedback. Some of the content that we've been pushing are obviously flyers for city events, and we've tried to make sure that they're all branded with the Keep Pharr Beautiful. Anything that's related to environment, sustainability, anything under the branch of Public Works, the Trash Bash that's coming up Saturday the 29th. Anything that has to do with Keep Pharr Beautiful, we are branding it so it's consistent. Yosmar Olivares couldn't be here today. He's one of our nature video journalists, but he's also been doing great as far as communicating with the urban ecologists just to see what other ideas are out there. How can they collaborate in making sure that we are sharing and, working on stories that fall under the umbrella of the Keep Pharr Beautiful. He took the day off. It is his birthday, so he'll be joining us in the next meeting so he can also do an update on some of the ideas he's had with our urban ecologist. The Standpipe project also started recently, so those pictures will be shared on our Keep Pharr Beautiful Facebook page. Again, it's part of a beautification effort for the city. We are currently on our third standpipe, and we're collecting photos throughout this process, but our video journalists are also collecting footage. And so at the end of this project, we want to compile a great recap, a story on the entire process from beginning to end. And hopefully we can showcase that video here in one of the board meetings. But we are posting photos, and again, they're being branded with the Keep Pharr Beautiful logo. And we are sharing some of them in our upcoming newsletter. The newsletter is the one that residents get in their mailbox. It's usually the top 3 stories of the month. So it's going to make the April edition newsletter, sharing, some of the content that we're sharing on the Keep Pharr Beautiful page. And a different initiative, or a constant initiative, is also just inviting people that want to promote anything under the umbrella of the Keep Pharr Beautiful board, of course, through our city podcast. I know Mrs. Caballero has been there, Mr. Romeo Cantu has been there, and really this is just an invitation. This is open for anyone, whether it's a resident, an active member of the community, anybody that's under the Parks and Rec, Public Works, anything that ties back to the Keep Pharr Beautiful board. We would love to have you on the podcast and just, really share some of this information. Flyers are great, but the more we get active on pushing information out, newsletters, social media, our city channel, our city podcast, newsletters, press releases, everything, we can do on our end to support this, it's great. But we need to use that platform a lot more. So hopefully more people get involved. Any suggestions, recommendations?
So we are with Parks and Rec, we're coordinating a tree planting activity at Jones Box Park with the Youth Eco Alliance. I don't know if you guys can come out and cover that, maybe interview the students for the podcast, why they're involved in the Eco Alliance.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And I'm glad you bring this up because anybody can really request coverage. We have a very easy process. It's a media request that's done internally where the director or a supervisor or really anybody under their department can submit this request, and it's pretty much requesting, your needs for that day, whether it's a graphic, photography, a video, a press release. Those efforts can be done. We just request this at least 48 hours in advance so we can know and start obviously getting scheduled and making sure that we're there.
One thing that Yuri, that I don't think anyone from the media has done it yet, might be a good idea is to do, I'd like to see a time lapse. I don't know if you have a time lapse camera of a sandpipe being painted from the ground up, and we watch it and we all watch it, see the time lapse happen. I've never seen anyone do a time lapse.
We don't have that technology. We're actually doing something similar with the Pharr Bridge with the expansion. We had to outsource. We don't have that technology yet, but we are documenting as we go, and we're hoping to have a great product to share.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but it's a great recommendation.
So one things I've noticed with the Pharr events is, again, flyers, fantastic, beautiful. some, but not all, are made as events on Facebook. And I was wondering who's responsible for making them into an event. Is that your department or is the department that's,
The same person requesting the media request, the more information we can get tailored to that specific event,
okay,
it helps us tremendously on the media side.
okay,
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
so
I-
they can just add a note, please create this as an event on the city page or on the Keep Pharr Beautiful page. Again, we're juggling between 23 departments, right? So the more specific this information gets through our media request portal, the easier it is for us. And if we missed anything, Mrs. Caballero can always shoot us a call and we can make those updates immediately.
okay. I would just suggest if, it's just, I know I'm, as a Facebook user and a mama, I will put that I'm interested in events to kind of keep them on top, but not everything's an event, so it'll disappear
Right,
when it's a
right.
flyer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A good observation.
I know that we have a date for Thursday morning. Brainstorm a list of possible future podcasts. I
Mhm.
know Your Echo Alliance Group was already a thought. Also, of course, ran into Mr. Garcia from Santa Ana.
Oh,
Mr.
yes.
Mr. Garcia, he had just come back from our reforestation location
Mhm.
site, and he was very pleased to see how the trees were coming along, the plantings were coming along. And Yudi was like, "Oh, that'd be a great. We could follow up already and start working on the new video for this year to promote the new reforestation event, which is already on the books." So
Right, and if there's a date and it's already secured on the calendar, yes, I really encourage you to reach out and get active with the media department ahead of time. So we're not promoting it, 2-3 weeks out.
Yeah. They need more time to
Yes.
really think about things and design and tailor it to really be what the product they want to
Yeah,
produce.
yeah, and there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline. There's so many events that are happening that the way we promote, these events, it might be very different the way we promote a Key Far Beautiful event compared to an open house community or, there's everything is tailored to what we're trying to reach, right? So, yes.
Any
awesome.
questions for Ms. Judy?
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Ms. Judy. All right, with that, we move on to administrative item 2C3, update on Far Youth Eco Alliance. That's Ms. Marisa Oliva.
Oh, hi. Well, and Cynthia was with me. So we have two more things so if, I'll just recap real quick. In January, we held the EcoFest that the students had run, and we again appreciate all the City of Pharr assistance out there and presence out there. The students also, we had a follow-up meeting with UT landscape design class. It was a class of graduate students who are currently working on a design for Jones Box Park. If the EPA grant that was applied for, I think is over 8 million. If it ends up going through, that design will be used to help inform how we're going to utilize the space. But if that grant doesn't go through, the City of Pharr will have a plan for the entire park. And so the students they had the opportunity to come into the meeting, and they had 4 different designs by 4 different groups, and the students were able to give their input. And then this design team, who really appreciated that opportunity, is going to combine it all together and present it to the city. And so we had a great meeting. We also had a wrap-up meeting, and the students want to continue on with Youth Eco Alliance, and they gave some updates, but we definitely would like to consider, and we're in discussions of how we can have a Youth Eco Alliance continue on with hopefully City of Pharr support. And these students want to do EcoFest every year. And so that's definitely an interest. So they're very excited. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to have a tree planting. That'll be their last project, is a tree planting event at Jones Box Park. So again, we appreciate Parks and Rec and for all their support. And we appreciate the rest of the city as well. Thank you very much.
Planting date is at the end of the month.
Yes, it's on Saturday, the 29th from 10 to 12, I believe.
At Jones Box.
At Jones Box Park. And it's just, it's not the whole park. It's a small area.
So from 10 to 12, Jones Box on the 29th. If
Yes.
anybody wants to be out there to help dig a hole and help cheer the kids on,
Yes.
we greatly appreciated. These young men and women are, the excitement with this is that Governor's Community Achievement Award, year in and year out, always in one way or another asks, what are you doing with your youth? And so this would be a really good partnership if we brought it in under our wing and just continued to assist them in one way or another, support them. But we're going to have room for all that discussion when we meet informally.
Yes.
So if there's no other questions from Anissa, we move on to administrative item 2C4, update on proposed nature center. There you go. Mr. Remy Vargas.
All right. All right. Good afternoon.
Good
Thank you for having
afternoon.
me. For the record, my name is Remy Vargas, urban ecologist for Parks and Rec. So this is kind of some of the renderings. They're all conceptual. Of course, everything's up in the air still. We've had maybe, I think, about 2 meetings about this with the architect, Mr. Ruben from Diseño. And Ms. Caballero was actually present in one of those meetings. So this is kind of what he's hoping it looks like. They're going for was it a Spanish style?
Sort of.
It looks like a ranch.
It
Ranch
was
style.
more of a ranch, simple ranch. Yeah.
They were trying to keep it pretty simple. So at the beginning, there was talks about using the house that's already there. But after further analyzing and seeing how it was kind of laid out in design, they thought the best thing to do is probably just kind of tear it down and start it from scratch in order for a future the future layout to be easier to put more things, more buildings on the side, and more easier to add on as the park got bigger. And this is pretty much what it looks like. It's going to be 3 buildings. I'm not sure if you guys could kind of see. There's a kitchen area in the middle, and that's kind of a concept that the architect wanted to bring, kind of a native kind of kitchen, teaching people about cooking with native stuff and stuff like that. So I'll move a little further on with that. So the whole concept of this nature park is actually kind of, we're not trying to compete with anybody. We're trying to be our own nature center. And with that being said, he wanted to incorporate the Indians that used to live in this area. So one of the things he wanted to do was name it. This is kind of a zoomed in version of it. But
So that circular, if you move.
yeah,
back
that's
up,
the
that circular,
I wish I had
I know, a pointer.
a pointer. I know it just kind of looks like circles and squares.
That circular one to the center right is the kitchen.
Yeah.
The building to the top right are administrative offices? I
Yes.
believe so. And
Yeah.
then this longer version, this longer building center to the left is more of classrooms, learning opportunities.
Spaces.
spaces.
Classrooms, restrooms, and gift shop also
That's what I
opportunities.
remember. And then to the far right center,
Yes.
that's an open air, small area to the right. It looks like
The amphitheater?
Yeah, an amphitheater.
Yeah, it's going to be a small amphitheater. It's not that big. But you can see to the right, there's going to be a small amphitheater. And then to the left, that's going to be the parking. And all those kind of round green things, those are trees that we're going to leave there.
That's what I
Is that like a
remember.
pond or something? Is that for later, or is that why it's?
Or is that the existing pool?
That's the existing pool.
Oh, okay.
There was ideas of using the pool, but I think they're just going to cover it up.
So is it on the current footprint of where the house already exists?
Yes.
Is it-
Más o menos.
Yeah, it's not entirely.
So,
Where's this house?
so
Moore Road.
one of my many lessons learned as running a nature center and visiting lots of nature center sites is that, and coming into a nature center that was
Oh,
built
Santa Fe.
but had no programs and no idea of what was needed. is that the building wasn't built to what we actually needed in the end, because we didn't establish those programs. We didn't really know. Other sites that I've seen built, they'll start, like if you look at Valley Nature Center, they'll start with an old building, they build up capacity, but they learn what they need. And so my concern is that putting a building without having an idea of how the Pharr community, the Pharr schools will use it, how many students will come out, what are the size capacities of those rooms, the three classrooms?
I wouldn't give you the
donated?
exact details. I know I have the area as far as the 3 buildings go on top here, and it's roughly about 5,500, 55.
So I can tell you with the Edinburgh Birding Center, we did the 5th grade wetlands program. We had 60 students at a time. We rotated them. We had one group inside, 2 groups outside, but they would have preferred having 120 students on our grounds. So again, that's those, before building a building, I really feel that we're moving we're doing it again, we're moving the cart before the horse. We don't have an understanding of what the community needs and wants, nor do we have an understanding of how PSJA, IDEA, Vanguard, which are all located very close to the site, how they would like to use the site, what sort of curriculum needs, what kind of spacing it was, what kind of classroom setup. So I know the city is very excited, but it worries me of putting out a design without having those interviews done, without having that input. I don't know if it's already been done, but I haven't heard of it. And again, I've had the opportunity to see probably 40, 50 different nature centers across the US, and also running nature center myself. And I can share some of those issues, some of those problems that our local nature centers have, as well as what other sites have done. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, we've only had a couple meetings. Everything's up in the air still. Nothing's set in stone. So there's always going to be, there still can be changes be done if, there's kind of any questions or concerns.
Having been at that, it doesn't look like that building is really very large, and could handle the capacity, the noise, the movement. And again, I mean, Native American, what does that mean? So are the students going to, is this?
Yeah, so the whole premise is kind of bringing in I guess I can never pronounce the name of the Indian tribe. Tican?
Karankawan? Is that the
Coaltecan? It's Coaltecan.
So this is kind of also, like I said, up in the air. Nabucco, which means our journey, would be kind of
Nabucco would be the name.
the name, and our journey is the translation to it.
So I guess in hindsight, he's given you, the gentleman from the design company is the architect. He's giving you, he's designed other public spaces. I know that, and I've seen them. But having said that, I'm wondering if the city gave him direction as to go this route, or he's just presenting this idea. He's presenting this idea.
Yeah, he's presenting this
just
idea.
presenting this idea.
I that's I understand, but at the same time, I think the city of Pharr needs to do its due diligence and understand what the community needs in terms of a nature center. It's very exciting that we have one. I'm very excited that we'll have one, but we have not reached out to all these different school districts that are around that could potentially be serviced by this project. I mean, who are you building a nature center for? That's the first thing. Are you building it for Winter Texans? Are you building it for the students that are going to come visit? Are you visiting it for the public? If so, most of them, a lot of them work. So are you going to be open after hours? Like, these are fundamental questions. And the thing is you have 23 nature sites in South Texas with managers and superintendents who can advise and give input. And I would say having a coalition of nature center managers and superintendents together to give feedback, interviewing the school districts of what they, if you are looking to bring in school districts, whoever your audience is, bring in those cohorts, bring in the community that's around the area. There's going to be traffic, there's going to be noise. Those are all things that need to be considered in the planning and design to mitigate any of those effects. So before seeing a design, I think we need to get some input from the community first.
You're exactly right. So let me just go through some of these, I guess, conceptual renderings. This is kind of a side view, aerial view of what it might look like. You see there's bus parking. There's a small parking lot as well. The amphitheater. You see also here in the back, there's a room for golf carts. Of course, this nature park. The first phase is the first, I guess, 10 acres of the actual house, and then adding to it to be kind of a total of 30 acres. Here's kind of another aerial view of what it looks like. You see there's a kind of some fountain in the front that actually kind of connects with another fountain in the back. And here is kind of the front view. He made the beams look like they're trees. That's one of the things he wanted to add that he's done in other places as well. And there's the fountain that I was mentioning. It somehow connects to the fountain in the back as well, and it has kind of some type of meaning. I forgot what he actually said, but I know it had to do something with the Indians as well. He wants to incorporate the Native Indians that lived here, and kind of put like history as well inside the nature center.
The Native Americans didn't have homes like that. That's how, I mean, maybe it references South Texas, in 1900s, our grandparents or great grandparents and the kind of styles of homes they had here. I'm having a hard time seeing the Native American reference in the design.
Well, he wanted to, not just be a birding nature center. I think that's what his whole aspect was. He wanted to make us unique by incorporating Native Indians.
All right, so maybe Ms. Castro.
So I don't know that I could add a whole lot because I was with Remy at the initial meeting that we had with the architect who brought these plans to us. And but Marisa, you and I have spoken, about ideas, and I truly appreciate what you shared with us. And I'm glad that you said it here on this platform, because I think we can take that back now and make sure that we do our homework and that we get those questions answered, because they're very valid questions. And so we hear what you're saying, and I understand, and we understand the importance of it. So if you could just give us maybe a little more time to bring this back. We wanted to present because we were asked last month to bring something to see where we were at with this. This is as far as we've gotten. It's a lot that's been done. These were just some ideas that were shared. I can't say that I was in the planning process of what appears here. Therefore, I can't give any more information than what Remy had shared with you.
If I could recommend
Sure.
that that to give a good starting point of what to consider, sometime this month, coordinate a meeting, even if it's on Zoom, if it can't be in person, with the nature centers that already exist. I understand about Pharr wanting to have its own stamp
Right.
and a Native American. I don't have a problem with that, of
Right.
course. I mean, that's our ancestry. I don't see it in the design, but I would definitely say to have that meeting, and and also you could even look at museums.
Right.
Bring in some museums, but bring in the nature center so that you have an idea of where to start.
Right.
And that should be able to lead to what kind of questions you can ask of the community of what those needs are. I know we want to get something, and we very much want to get something going, but I think we need to do those first steps first, because you're going to end up like we did in Edinburgh. We ended up, and I'm putting Edinburgh on blast, with a glass building that killed birds as a World Birding Center, because it was designed with 20-foot walls of glass.
Okay.
We just had a lot of issues. We had a lot of issues because that building wasn't built with reference to what nature centers do and how they function. We had a staff of 12, and we had 2 office spaces. We had a 10 by 10 closet when we were doing environmental education programs for over 60,000 kids kids a year. We had 3.5 hour programs that we did for 3,000 Edinburgh youth coming through our center 3 hours at a time. And we were always building spaces and closets because we weren't designed for what we needed in the end. And I don't want Pharr to make that mistake when that mistake's already been done in the community and we
Yeah,
can learn from it.
Absolutely. It
So
wouldn't make any sense for
And
us to
I
go
was
about that way.
running the meeting last month when, and it was me that asked for an
Yes.
update. And, you know, as far as an update, what I gather is we have this property that is going to be a nature center, and the city is looking at perhaps tearing the existing building down and coming up with something new. There's some preliminary renderings which may or may not stick when
Right.
you throw them against the wall. But that's kind of what I was thinking as far as
Okay.
as an update.
Okay.
You know, specifics. Unfortunately, you know, whether we may have the opportunity to give input,
Right.
we're not the ones that are going to make the decision,
no,
and we're not the ones funding it. And so those are other considerations. Now, does the city have a forum for that input? And that might be the recommendation that goes back
Right.
to say, well, you know, maybe we need to ask
Mhm.
what's going on and how we go forward from
Right.
this. But you know.
At the end of the day, it's a good experience for all of us. Marisa for sharing the transparency that she shared with her experience, and Remy and I trying to answer questions for you, and at the same time, like maybe I just took it a little too far, thinking, okay, we need to show
Yeah.
them what we've gone through, and I apologize for that. But at
appreciate
the
it.
same time, I'm very happy that it was brought up because it takes me back to the drawing table and the conversations that Marisa and I have had outside of here. And now I have a lot of questions, and we need to go back and revisit if she, if we could do that. That way we could have all of that information in place before we start any
Any design.
any design
Okay,
effort.
so it's 6:15,
Oh,
it's
gosh.
6:17.
Yeah.
And I just want to end this, that I also appreciate
Yes.
the transparency.
Yes.
I did get invited, my husband and I did get invited to view this, and
Mhm.
he had the same questions.
Sure.
He was trying, he had a lot of questions, but we also understand we're just citizens, But I know when we designed our home there on Moore Road, the architect was very specific as to what are your needs, and he created a series of questions to help him meet
Understand what you
our needs.
right. Okay.
Or when we did Parks Board, when
Mhm.
we were doing the new parks, forward planning, we canvassed our citizens through various surveys at various events, and that's how we came up with a skate park and all the water park, all the different. So I think that in all
Makes
fairness, that before we really delve into, I would suggest we find out what the needs are. Maybe we don't want to educate. Maybe we don't want to sponsor or host schools at this space.
Right.
Maybe it's just going to be more like a Santa Ana, or where anyone can go, and it's not going to be an organized
More of a tourist site.
educational,
Yeah.
thing.
And I don't
Who
know. I don't know
knows?
the answers to those questions. So, a
But-
point
but-
well taken, and we will definitely take that back, study it more, and ask for advice from you all.
Yeah.
You make us better.
As you see.
You've got some experts that can
You
talk.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
But I do appreciate
Yes.
you
Yeah.
being here and sharing this, and this is really what I saw in January.
Yes.
What I see is the
Nothing more.
city's moving forward in Nature Center, which is exciting.
Right.
So that's exciting.
Right. So, yes. Thank you
So
so
thank
much
you
for
so much.
understanding.
Appreciate
Yes.
you.
Thank
Appreciate you, Remy. Appreciate you. All right. So we move on. If there's no more questions regarding the Nature Center, we'd like to move on to administrative item 2D. We're going to do updates, and we're going to begin with building with code. Yes, sir. Mr. Gamboa.
Hello, committee members.
Hello, Mr.
For the
Gamboa.
record, Rick
Mr.
Gamboa,
Rubio.
Code Compliance Coordinator, Officer John Rubio, presenting this afternoon. I'd like to start with the extravaganza party, or whichever one's first, property maintenance, or this is gonna be our Cody's extravaganza event we had last Thursday. Cody was out for a cosmetic procedure. We had to do a couple of adjustments on his nose, and when we took him to the cleaners, our air conditioner was off when they did, so we got that repaired. One of our guys had a eye irritation.
Oh,
They got that
Taken care
taken
of.
care of also. So he's back, folks. But this is the only Cody's extravaganza or any block party that
Right now, we're at Dr. Long Park. We're having our first annual Cody's Block Party. We have these quarterly. We invite the whole public to come out. We have different departments here. They can answer any questions with code compliance, public utilities, and public works, just to name a few.
Creo que de alguna manera me parece bien porque muchas veces nos falta el conocimiento de lo que la ciudad necesita darnos a nosotros para saber al respecto de las leyes, los códigos. Este tipo de eventos educa a la gente a que podamos entender y podamos saber de que la ciudad tiene planes para nosotros. Cuando nosotros vamos a su oficina, pues sabemos de antemano que pues nos puedan recibir bien, ¿verdad? Y hagan algo por nosotros, que es lo más importante.
I'm so happy that they're giving this stuff out because I know they've been working hard and they're trying to make like stuff for us. That way we can like all have some fun. I love you, Pharr, so much because you make the best events ever.
folks, and it wasn't just city personnel. We got a real good sponsorship from our local businesses, Peter Piper, Perry's Pizza, and Stefano's. They did awesome. They provided all the food for us, so that was a real successful event. Everybody was happy with the prizes, with everything that was introduced that afternoon.
Mr. Gamboa, I understand you had over 200 people there?
Yes, ma'am, and there was
Very
sufficient,
well.
there was sufficient food for all of them, so.
That's great.
That's
And
amazing.
anybody attend? Anybody attend here?
I wanted to.
The girls back there, the guys back there, back row.
Any questions on our event?
When's the next?
I know, when's the next one?
Well, there is an extravagant
Well, but
scavenger.
that's gonna be
The
sponsored
library.
by the library. When's your next code
For,
one?
for
Do
our
you know?
next block party quarterly, which this was in March, April, May, June, so.
June.
In June.
Yes,
Ooh,
ma'am.
It's hot. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know where that one's going to be at?
I think it's gonna be here in our city
Downtown?
hall area. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Very good, very good.
But I'll find out. We'll send out a social media, a schedule for y'all.
Very nice.
That's a great video, Miss Yudi. Great video. Great video. Any question for
Any
Mr.
questions,
Gamboa?
folks?
No?
We also did an event last Friday with our property maintenance program. We got a couple of shots here that we did for our local residents. It was a pretty hot day. We had to get assistance from our contractor folks because I think it was 104, 102. So
Record, yep.
Wow.
we still communicated with people and a lot of people don't know what to expect. But they're surprised. We promoted it again the last couple months, and we got a lot of turnout requests. But a lot of people are the type of people that have it. They want it like this. They don't want anything over. So we got to be very careful. Explain to them the program, what we do, what we don't do, and they got to understand that it's also once a year, and it's a courtesy cut. Okay, it's not anything that.
Not a monthly maintenance.
Right, yes, sir, yes, sir. But overall, they're very happy. Again, the three categories, it's over 65 military veterans, and the military veterans is the only one that has a different aspect to this, or the handicapped also that we have. Those are the three categories that we provide.
Does code compliance provide guidance for families that want to put trees in their yard, like how far back they need to be or shrubs. I'm just wondering, is there any codes?
It's been brought to our attention, especially right there where that gentleman's at on the green area. If he steps back about a couple of steps back, there was at one time a reinforcement by I think, I don't know who it was, if it was Public Works, but it wasn't us. But yes, ma'am, because they tend to put them too close to the
Curb.
to the sidewalks, and those roots grow pretty bad, and they, after a while, you'll see the sidewalk all warped and stuff. So there was somebody brought it to the attention, but we're not following it. I don't know if it's in the planning process for the landscaping.
So the reason I bring it up is twofold. One, if Remy gets that 1.5 and the grass department gets that 1 point, however many, how much that grant you're planning for the 10,000 trees, part of it is going to be giving trees to residents. And so if there is going to be some guidance as far as where they can or can't plant, I think maybe there could be some coordination between the departments to make sure as we're giving trees, we're not putting in someplace they have to be cut down in the future. And especially if I know there's probably wires and lines and all those things. So if there can be some guidance, and I think code would be the one. The other reason is that in my own yard, I have a fence, and then I have probably about 6 feet of space between my fence and the street, and it's just bare grass. And I'd love to plant natives, but I don't know if it's allowed. So for personal reasons, I just don't know if anything can be planted from the fence line to the street in a,
We usually recommend no.
Nothing.
Because that's basically what it is. Like they say, it's your property, Rick, the city's property, but it's usually a right of way, just in case. And you've seen it in instances where they have to widen the street. That's why it's not allowed.
okay. And not even like ground cover or little flowers like forbs, like not trees. I'm talking about like little stuff.
Most of the people that we usually get calls from, they're having some difficulties with a neighbor parking on their side. So they try to put the shrubbery, so we know what's going on there. So we let it happen. But yes, usually we don't recommend that, but
Okay.
it can be done.
I think if you understand that it
And
may
you
be
do it,
encroached,
They can come in and.
Yeah.
you know,
Right, yes,
it's
and,
planted for now.
And that will happen, folks. So I've seen it done where apartments had it all on the right of way. They had to remove it. They had to.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know if there was like besides the land being needed taken for expansion, I didn't know if there was a safety consideration for, because I do see in our neighborhood, like there's bushes and trees right at the edge where it's hard to see stop signs. So I didn't know if there's any code.
I'm sure the planning has that guidance sheet that we're asking for, but I wrote it down so I can get some more
planning.
information
Yeah,
on
planning
that.
and
Okay,
zoning
planning
has
and
that.
zoning with
Planning and
that.
zoning.
It's
Okay.
typically, it's like 10 feet, so, but from the front, but everyone's different. It just depends on where
So
your
I,
home
so it's
has.
planning.
so Remy, hopefully
on
we
that
get
board.
that grant, but that may be something to coordinate with, just to make sure as we're giving trees, they're not putting them in areas they shouldn't.
All right.
Thank
Any further questions?
Anything else for Mr. Gamboa,
Mm-mm.
Mr. Rubio?
Nope.
Thank you so much, sir.
We're real quick. We got a new
Oh.
phone system, so we might have a difference of extensions. We will make sure and get that to social media as soon as possible because
Okay,
we
very
did
good.
get a new phone system, folks. So,
Okay, no, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, with that, we move on to Parks and Recreation.
Cynthia? Oh.
Cynthia
She
or
stepped
Remy?
up.
Mr. Remy Vargas, Miss
Or do
Cynthia.
you want
Gas-
to skip her?
Oh,
Oh, she's back there. There you are.
he's probably got another video. He's got a big
All
smile. on his
right,
face.
let's give some quick
Welcome back.
updates. Let's see, next one. All right,
There we
so
go.
yeah, we got awarded again for the 8th year in a row, Tree City USA, and we should have our little plaque coming in the mail soon. This was submitted back in December, and like I said, we've been doing it for 8 years, and
Awesome.
so this is we just got this.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So are you planning an Arbor Day celebration soon?
Yes, so that's actually in the upcoming events, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. It's going to be a little bit of Paint the Park / Arbor Day kind of a native tree seedling giveaway. Yes.
This one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm hoping
Our
to make
plan.
another flyer for that one as we move closer to the date.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of outreach, and thanks to the public health department, the environmental educator, and also the forestry coordinators. They've been helping me out a lot. This is one of them that we actually went to assisted living home in Ridge Road. This is actually very nice. You know, a lot of people, might not think of the elderly or so much, but we went out there and kind of taught them a little bit about pollinator gardens, monarchs, and did an activity with them, recycling a newspaper pot maker. They were so happy and so into it. It was real nice to see. And here's some of the pictures. We get a little presentation, and compared to other places, this is assisted living. So, they need help in a lot of stuff. So with the forestry grant coordinators there were a lot of help, helping each and one of them trying to make their own recyclable pot maker. And of course, we try to keep it native. So we used some native seeds. We used some scarlet sage and some, what's it called, Indian blanket as well. And hopefully they watered it and they'll get a nice little flower out of it. Another cool outreach I'm doing now as well is the after-school program with with Parks and Rec, and we're doing 12 schools in 12 weeks. We're hitting one school every Wednesday. Hopefully, we get all the schools in by May, I think. So I think we kind of planned it to where we get all the schools in, and of course, this is all part of the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. Community outreach and awareness of monarchs. There's an interesting article that came out last week about not only monarch populations in decline, but butterflies in general are in decline. So, just kind of teaching the community about them, it's a great thing. And with the kids, we're actually doing a life cycle and a little booklet activity. This is last Wednesday at the Allen William Arnold. It was about 55 elementary students. And a tabling event that we did also was the Dr. Seuss birthday, and this year was Lorax theme. So we thought of trees and stuff like that. We did also a native flower pot maker, and we also gave bookmarks. So that was pretty cool.
You held that at the
DRC. That was a DRC on March 6th. It was about from 6 to 8, and it was about 300 attendees. So. And this is, yeah. And this is our coming events. Yeah, so we're doing Paint the Park. You're able to register already all the way up to April 4th. And April 5th to the 25th is when you'll be able to actually paint your spot or parking spot. And then, with that being said, the 26th is going to be the celebration for the winners. We're going to do a judging, and we're also going to do kind of a Arbor Day event with the reimbursement application that I did with National Wildlife Federation. It was we're going to give away some native tree seedlings.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so we're working on a flyer for that as well for the actual day of the event. I'm gonna reach out to exhibitors, vendors as well to have different nature centers in there as
How
well.
much time do you get to paint your parking spot?
Uh,
Is it only one day?
No. So yeah, so that's
80
one of the big.
hours. See, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, 8 to
Okay, so
noon.
you can do it over a couple of days.
Yes.
You have a whole month. Well, 20 days.
Yeah, 20 days. I try to give
okay.
people as much time as possible. Yeah, a lot of people, can't do weekdays or can do weekends or vice versa. So I'm trying to have as many people try to finish their parking spot. In the past years, there's been people that started,
Yeah, we
don't
judged that
finish
one
it,
time.
just because of time constraints.
Yeah.
So this year, hopefully, it's different and everybody's able to kind of finish.
Good.
So,
Very good.
and also, we're having our Adopt a Highway
great.
Texas the trash off, and we need to get kind of together to set a date. Any day in April.
Is that with Irma? Is that a coordination?
No, this is this is what.
So Adopt a Highway is.
This is the highway that we adopted, or the one in from
from
Business 83 all the way to Moore
to
Road.
Moore Road.
Okay,
We adopted cage.
okay.
Yeah, this is gonna be any day in April.
So you want.
Whenever you guys are able to come to a date, we can make a flyer and kind of
probably
have
should work on that,
volunteers.
Yeah, because April's
Because
coming in
April,
soon.
Next
by
week,
the time
next month.
we, yeah,
Yeah,
Weeks.
in 2 weeks, and then our meeting's not till the 15th.
Like a Saturday, usually a Saturday.
it's usually a Saturday.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind that we do have, like I
Other
said, April
events.
26th, the
Right, you're planting.
yeah
On
the,
April 12th, you have the scavenger.
the scavenger. Yeah,
That's
so we
two
have
Saturdays
two
down.
Saturdays. Yeah, so
April, I'm out
Eh,
April 19th.
April's a pretty busy month. Yeah.
Yes.
It has to be in April?
Yes, for
Yes.
the Don't Mess with Texas Trash Shop, it has to be in the month of
So you
April.
got either the 19th or the 26th left.
You said not the 26th?
Oh, not
What's
the
going
26th?
on?
No,
the tw-
I
no,
can't do the
yes,
19th.
the 26th is the day that he's planning on doing the celebration, the judging, and the
Oh, okay.
planting, the
giveaway,
seedlings giveaway, and his Arbor Day, your
Yeah.
Arbor Day, kind of.
Can
all.
we do it on Sunday, the 27th?
So then,
That would be after.
what,
if you
what
want.
leaves? What
Oh,
day
it's
is
too late.
left?
As far as Saturdays, that really, this is usually the
12,
19th.
26.
And it
Well-
really doesn't have to be a Saturday. There's always room for a Sunday if you're able to coordinate a Sunday, but Saturday is when most
How
people.
many, can it be in an evening on a weekday?
I think that would be hard because since it is Cage, and you all know how
Oh,
busy
busy.
Cage is.
Yeah.
So the 26th, the city's having an event, and the 12th, the city's having an event,
That's either the 19th or the
or
5th.
the 5th.
I can do the 5th.
And remember, Easter Sunday is the 20th.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm
the
out that weekend.
19th is the day before. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of
So
people
it's
out.
probably going to be the 5th. That 18th, 19th, and 20th, I mean, it's kind of a
Yes,
3-day
ma'am. So,
holiday.
Let me just add, I'm sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
no,
I
that's
do,
okay.
our
Yes.
signs are not up.
Okay.
They're not up. We
Okay.
just submitted the
Sure.
application not too long ago. My understanding is that the sign will take another 2 weeks before it's up.
Okay.
So I'm checking with TxDOT to see if they can give us an extension because we started like into the year,
Yeah.
well into the year already. So, I don't know that we'll have the time to be able to do it in April. We may get, special permission to maybe extend it a little longer due to us not even having the sign up. So I don't have an answer yet, but I will get back with you
Also,
all to let you all
just-
know.
she'll
That way
let
you don't
us
feel
know.
pressured
Yeah.
to have to decide
Obviously,
today.
The 19th
Okay.
probably is out of the question since
It's out for me, yeah.
Easter
Easter weekend.
weekend.
And we have other people that can help us with this effort, so we'll try to get that coordinated. But we don't have
Well-
the signs yet, so, I'm
And-
still looking
Well,
into
if
that.
the Paint the Park's at 4 to 7.
That's what I was just gonna say. If you're
Maybe-
doing the Arbor Day
The
thing.
Arbor Day
the
celebration is actually going to be on the Saturday, April 26th from 8:30 to 12.
Oh,
Oh,
same
okay,
time.
it is in the morning.
Yeah, it's going to be
Okay.
in the morning, just
Because we
because
did
a
the
lot of
judging
people,
in the
have things to do in the evening.
That's
But
what I'm saying. It has to be in the morning.
So
but-
the 4 to 6 is just for
But
the.
she's
just
Oh,
for
that's
the
hours?
painting,
Oh, I
just for
gotcha.
painting purposes.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
because I thought last time it was
It was in the
it was an
evening.
afternoon evening
Oh,
event.
okay.
The judging, but of course, it's whenever, but
Yeah.
yeah, the judging and the planting was in the evening.
Yeah, once we
But that
hear from
was-
Cynthia and
yeah.
TxDOT, then we'll
Thank
kind of
you.
coordinate it, but looks like we've got a couple of dates at least as alternatives.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, and just, keep in mind, a couple of dates, work, and we could best
Work it
coordinate
All right.
which works best. That's pretty much.
All right.
Oh,
Wow, you've been
all
a busy.
Oh, yeah, so
busy.
another one is the Pharr Memorial Seed Library
Oh,
unveiling.
yes.
We're working on that in collaboration with the library. And we set on a date, Thursday, April 17, in the afternoon. So it's going to be an unveiling / seed swap event.
Yay,
Oh,
that's
okay, great.
awesome.
And hopefully we have everything ready. And one of the things I also did was reach out to Mr. Gaitan
Mhm.
and see if he's able to do a little small presentation. Talk a little bit about native plants, pollinators, and anything related to that. And so we can have people, and we already kind of reached out to media for coverage and for a flyer as well. So that is going to be coming out soon as well.
Very good.
So yeah,
Wow.
we've been pretty busy.
Very
Nice.
busy, sir.
Great
You
job.
all have been very busy.
Thank you.
Thank
I think
you.
that should be good.
No more questions for Parks and Rec? Okay. Thank you so much, Remy, and thank you so much, Ms. Castro. Thank you. Thank you. So then we move on to Public Works, please. Ms. Irma Diaz.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Irma Diaz with Public Works, here to present the report for recycling for the month of February. So we did have 47.71 tons.
Wow.
A month, with 6.89 tons at the at the residential collection station.
Wow.
We did collect a total of 1,272 tires. And we did have a revenue of $6,399.10. So we are going to be having a trash bash on the 29th of March at Jones Box Park, 8 to 12. And we are working on having an event on April the 5th. It's going to be a neighborhood cleanup. And this is going to be, we're going to do it Flag and Cage, or the perimeter of Flag, Cage, Bell, and State.
Okay, right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to be on the first weekend of April.
Of April.
Yes.
And that'll be your trash off. Will that be, no, what are you
We're
calling it?
the Beautify City of Pharr.
Okay.
Yes, and we're going to be inviting traffic, animal control, Parks and Rec to be out here.
Help out.
Yes. Mhm.
Would it make sense to combine the two events on April 5th and do like that cleanup and just extend it that way?
Oh, but
No?
if we don't, does it matter if we don't have the signs? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, actually, because you have your own cleanup event, which is right around here,
Yes.
but it's trash pickup, right?
Yes, it's going to be a neighborhood pickup. Yes.
And everybody and volunteers are coming to pick up trash.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, adopted highways of trash pickup. So same resources, same departments. It's just the extension. Do we have to do the cleanup the whole thing, or could you just focus it like the whole thing?
You have to do it. It doesn't take that long because I've done them in Edinburgh. but-
Okay. I mean, I'm just
Okay.
saying,
Not that.
you're already coordinating, maybe.
And Cage isn't that.
It's not that.
And
Yeah.
it's
Not bad.
right there.
I think it shouldn't matter that our signs aren't up. I mean, but I don't know.
See if that might work for you, Miss.
It is.
You let us know.
And already you'll have the
Yeah, so,
Resources.
The resources.
I am going to have a meeting with the departments to kind of coordinate the event. So maybe we can talk about it. Mhm.
Okay. Let us know.
yes, please, please. Any questions for Ms. Irma?
No.
Very
Thank you.
good. You've been busy too.
I did have a question
Yes.
for Parks and Rec, and I'm so sorry. But Remy, real quick, I know that Texas Forest Service has a championship tree program. I don't know if you've looked into it, but I know Pharr in particular has some really big old trees, and I don't know if anybody's ever measured our trees out here and try to compete for that, or if I don't know if you know.
Have you ever heard of that?
So yes, I've heard of it. I mean, here in Pharr, I really haven't looked at some of the trees, but I mean, that would be something cool to look
Research.
into. Yeah, research, and maybe one of our trees is a champion tree.
That would be awesome. Yeah, because you get a plaque in
Yeah,
neighborhood.
you get a
and-
plaque, and you know.
How cool.
Yeah, so.
Okay, you even have a contest. Do you think your tree is the biggest in Pharr?
Submit
Yeah,
a
there you go.
photo.
Yeah.
Submit a
The photo of
photo.
your biggest tree.
And you probably would have had a winner, but instead you got a Starbucks.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
How do you remember
I hope
that
it
big,
was worth
Oh,
it.
yeah.
that big ebony tree that was there?
It was huge.
Yeah, there's
It
some-
was huge.
There was
Some
another one
nice
that I just saw
old
that's
growth
on Sam
trees.
Houston. The property owners there took it down. It was
Oh
a
my God.
huge, huge tree.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nearly
Well,
the
Remy,
wide as this table.
You'll look into it?
Right? You know the tree I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about,
no
right?
problem. Yeah.
It's like a ficus tree or something. It was huge.
And no more questions for
No,
Remy?
that's it.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you,
Thank
Remy.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming up. And oh my goodness, Nico, Mr. Nico, thank you for, we're bringing public health up now. Just,
For updates.
if you have any, everybody's talked about things.
Oh,
How you doing?
good. Great to meet you. Great to see you all again. For the record, my name is Nico Topangan. I'm the Public Health Director for the City of Pharr. Updates, there's been a kind of a whirlwind in the months that I've been here, but things are going well. We had a meeting with Texas A&M's forestry grant this morning, made some significant progress, kind of gave some clarification on some action steps moving forward. And so we're excited about that. We had the funding opportunity that Ms. Diaz mentioned earlier that we're also really excited about. There's a focus on place-based learning, and I think that's a really great example and a great teaching tool where it's less abstract and a bit more concrete. And when your community and the people in it can see how what they're learning is applicable to their neighborhoods and where they live, I think it sticks a little bit more. And I like the idea that it ranges from kids to adults and that you have that sustainability. And once you get them into it and it continues on, you get the ability to have them continue it on for generations. And so a lot of exciting things. It's just a matter of us properly allocating our resources and our time and our efforts so that we get it all done with excellence, I'd say.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So are you involved at all with, so It's Time Texas and UT Health both have competitions this time of year, and I know the city of Pharr is really involved with that, but is your department involved? Because it is a health initiative.
Yes, I think as much as we can. They have been a little bit gracious to me since I have just started, but I'm looking for opportunities to kind of get our department involved in as many ways that we can. I know the Healthier Texas one just ended and we won, as far as I understand.
We won?
it.
Woo!
That might be a spoiler, but we'll see. But yes, I want to say that we're working towards organizing those events and then doing it in a way where we are allocating enough time to properly advertise them and make sure we put them in areas and locations that are most beneficial for the audiences that we're targeting.
Perfect.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you.
questions for Mr. Nico?
Oh,
Wow, we're just full of information. I appreciate you. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
ma'am.
sir.
No
And it's wonderful how there's this
Synergy.
wonderful, yes, synergy, this networking, this just collaboration.
Yes. I guess one thing I can mention, another part of our efforts have been in grants related to Alzheimer's and dementia. But what we love about it is a good portion of ways to benefit those communities is involving outdoor spaces and
Awesome.
being physically active in those areas. And so we love that there's been this synergy between the initiatives that we have to develop these spaces where they are not only beneficial to young individuals, but also that population as well. And so it's been honestly a really cool coincidence. Serendipity, I guess you could say.
This is a little off topic, but it's a passion area of mine. I'm assuming you know that Alzheimer's is considered third diabetes, and diabetes and Alzheimer's are all related to insulin resistance in our population and glucose, uncontrolled glucose levels. So I don't know if you are looking into continuous glucose monitors as a way of helping people monitor their glucose and learning how to eat in a way that doesn't spike them and cause all sorts of issues. But that's definitely an area of research that is ongoing, and hopefully the city of Pharr is involved with that.
Yes, ma'am. We've been looking at some opportunities where we could have those smart devices where those glucometers end up transmitting the data automatically and they're not having to wait for the individual to input it after taking the reading, little things like that. But honestly, we've also been trying to look for those opportunities where we can promote and educate and build those connections between mental health issues like Alzheimer's and dementia and their physical activity. We think that one barrier is that people aren't just making that connection at all. And they think that they can have all of these risk factors that are separate just because it's not obviously related to how they develop later on in their ages. And so, yes, it definitely showing how what you eat, how physically active you are can have an impact on how you end up aging and whether you age as well as you can.
And vitamin D deficiency, I personally have learned. So you got to keep that in there too.
All of you go and take your vitamin D.
Or go outside.
Right.
Or go outside and spend some time. I
Yes,
really
ma'am.
appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you for your presentation and God bless you in your new endeavor here with us. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Been really enjoying my
Thank you.
time here.
Thank you. Nico. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry.
Yes, we're late.
All right, let's go on to administrative item 2E. Board comments.
none. I think we've got a lot of questions asked and answered.
So with that, I remind everyone here today how much you're appreciated for being here, giving of your time and your skills, your energy, your enthusiasm to be part of Team Pharr. We appreciate you for everything you do for our city. I want to remind you that next meeting is April 15th on Tuesday. It'll be, I promise, a short just meeting, and then we'll go into an informal brainstorming, wonderful meeting of ideas and circulating the passion and creativity. So I'm sure we're all looking forward to that opportunity. Let's see. With that, I don't think I forgot anything. You've got events.
Yes.
You've got dates that are
Check out our
beloved-
Facebook page. They're there.
beloved directors and representatives have shared with us here tonight too. So we have info. We need to see if we can attend. So thank you. With that, I need a motion on the floor to adjourn
So
this
moved.
meeting.
A second.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Being that there's no opposition, this meeting is closed. God bless you all. Drive home safely. Be well. Thank you.
Thank you.